So, first of all, that skin, which is gorgeous by the way, you can pick that up in the esports tab store on Rainbow Six Siege after this maintenance planned in 35 minutes, but you know. But that's not what I want to talk about. I'm here to talk about invitationals.
And you are the world champion! The two-time world champions are G2!
If you didn't know, it's basically the biggest event of the year where any player and any community member wants to be a part of it. You know, you want to be the one that's qualified, you want to be the player that's invited to do content for them or travel there regardless. It's a place with the most viewership, probably the most coverage, and also the most hype built up around it. The biggest prize pool, and of course, the most prestigious trophy being the hammer. The hammer. And this year, it's been cancelled / postponed for the foreseeable future, and that's sad. It's very sad, and the news are gonna be heartbreaking to everyone. I myself was just told last night, February 2nd, about 5 p.m. sharp, that this indeed was not going forward. And how do you process that information? Well, as a player, I looked at it from a bittersweet standpoint. Sure, Invitational isn't happening, that is terrible, but if there was a time where invites shouldn't be happening, it is now. We are in a global world pandemic. We are under massive issues when it comes to what we can and cannot do. No fans will be attending, no media will be attending, very limited personnel, 5 players, 1 coach, 6 people, that's it. You can't bring your girlfriends, can't bring your friends, can't see your fans, can't support the other teams because after isolation, you can only hang out with your own teammates. Meaning, if you want to be with Jason Bolo, you gotta wait for next year's invite because Jason Bolo is busy with his teammates. You know, we don't know their names, it doesn't matter. Bolo's teammates and Bolo are gonna hang out, I'm gonna hang out with G2, and that cross-reference of teams and dynamics and friendships is completely lost, which is very unfortunate. So my point is, if there was a time for invite not to be happening, I guess now is a good time. For the safe and healthy of everyone involved, we can say that it's not the end of the world, okay? Now, there's gonna be a lot of good things coming out of this, possibly. I hope that we're still gonna get the announcements. I hope we're still gonna get like a roadmap, see the future of Siege. And I really hope we get some communication as into what are they gonna be doing going forward, especially with something like cheaters. And it's these kind of events, it's these kind of announcements that we expect coming from big events. It's pretty much what everyone is waiting for and expecting to come out of them. So, with that said, I like to give Ubisoft a lot of shit sometimes. And sometimes it's fair, and sometimes it's less fair. But today's not gonna be one of those days, because with my experience talking with Ubisoft and talking with G2 who's talked to Ubisoft, and the things that I've filed out for invitationals as recent as 2 days ago, I'm on the impression that Ubisoft did everything in their power to make sure that if Rainbow Six Siege Invitationals event was to be cancelled, it would not be their fault. They have taken care of us and talked to us, communicated with us on so many different levels, and I was very impressed with that. And as I said, as recent as 2 days ago, I found out my preference for lunch and dinner. And I don't think they would be sending out those questions and those documents if it wasn't because that they were indeed intending for it to go off and to be happening until the very last second. Now, I believe North America, LATAM, APAC, they might have been traveling the 4th, which would be tomorrow. As a European citizen, I would be traveling the 5th. So it was literally last minute that this was publicly cancelled, and it was a day and a half before traveling that it was unofficially, private to us, cancelled. So I know people are gonna mock Ubisoft for this. I hope they won't, because take it from me, they did a great job trying to make this happen. And I understand that it's a massive disappointment, and despite people's best efforts at preparing for this, it's still gonna hit hard. But at the same time, you would have been a fool if you didn't prepare for this, at least at some level emotionally, because the odds of this going through with a pandemic going on and all these issues with like legal battles of like, oh, we can enter, but we want that you travel, and isolation and PCR tests, and it's a mess. We already knew that only 19 teams could attend because Wildcard was not able to travel via their government of Australia. So, you know, already then and there, the event wouldn't have been what it could have been because we wouldn't have all 20 teams attending. So I'm hoping it'll be postponed or at least be happening in the future. I hope we get a bunch of great announcements we can take away from it. And I also hope that we can just have a great time on Twitch and on YouTube and still generate that community vibe that we would have gotten on the Twitch YouTube channel on twitch.tv/Rainbow6 during the Invitationals event itself. I know a lot of people are going to be grinding, especially pro players. They're going to have time off, and we have drops. Now, drops is something I want to talk about in the next video, but for now, enjoy it, stay frosty, stay safe, and of course, keep on sieging.